Hello and welcome. This is Jasmine and I'm here with my Auntie Shon, and we want to show up for you. To have and to normalize conversations together that you may not have had the opportunity to engage in within your generation, your atmosphere, or even your household. We're so glad that you're here with us today. Welcome to Showing Up For You. Welcome back to another episode of Showing Up For You. This is Jasmine.
Hey, this is Shon.
And today we are talking about body shaming. This topic is a hard topic to talk about. It's something that is very personal for us. We have these conversations. We have these conversations with others. And we wanted to open up this conversation to have with everyone else. Like, how are you feeling going into this conversation?
I'm excited, actually, because I think I have all the thoughts. Like, this is actually something I think about a lot. I have opinions on it.
No, that's so good, because I think we all do, whether we talk about it or we don't. Mm-hmm. So I want to open the floor up with what is body shaming? How do you define it? How do you see it in your surroundings? What does it look like?
I think body shaming for me is the same definition as everybody. It's horrible opinions about other people's body based off of what you think they should look like or what society thinks they should look like. It's unfair to kind of put everybody in the same standard. So body shaming, and it looks different. Like, it doesn't always look like you're fat. It could look like, that doesn't look flattering on you, or that style isn't really meant for you. Like, it could come in all different ways and faces. Experiencing it, I think you asked about like experiencing it. For me, it's I've kind of been told like I have more of like my like manly shoulders when I wear like a halter top or something. And I'm like, I like racerbacks. Like, what's the problem here?
Right. I like this cut on me.
I like this on me. It's hot. But it's, it doesn't feel good. And I've had it passively in different ways. Yeah, man, it's hard to take because you don't know if you want to subscribe to it based off of like somebody you love or somebody that, you hold their opinion, high or not. It's confusing. Have you ever experienced body shaming, or like, what is it like for you?
Yeah. Body shaming is a delicate topic.
Oh, man.
For myself. I do believe that I have experienced it more often than not. Even in my older age now, I'm not that old. I'm only 25. Right. I practically look 12. I have a body of a 12-year-old little boy. No. Just kidding.
No, this is what not to do. That is
true. That's not what we're having this conversation for. Anyways, back to the main topic here. But I have experienced it a lot. I was a collegiate athlete, so I dealt with a lot of body shaming issues internally. Yeah. I've also experienced a lot externally. My family likes to make the joke of like, somebody go feed her. She needs to have more, like, get her a big plate, give her the extra rice. And so
you eat, like, what is wrong?
And I eat good. I'm like, people who really know me, like,
good. Don't worry about this.
I'm solid. Don't worry about me. Honestly. But it's one of those things where, like, when I think about body shaming or like how I define it, it's really just projecting your reality onto somebody else when it comes to their body unfairly. I think so often we project our own personal reality, our insecurities. We do that, amongst other people. I'll be the first to say, like, I'm guilty of it. I've been there. I've body shamed people as well. And that's not something that I'm proud of, but, it's something that we just have to really be cognizant of and, hopefully redefine for ourselves, and also recognize that, like you had mentioned just right before this, that everybody has like the same definition. It just kind of looks different. It has different faces.
Yeah, that's true. We can all agree, like, it's just not nice. Like, first of all, it's none of your business.
None
Second of all,
your
it's
business.
just not nice. Like,
no. It makes no one feel good.
Right. Right. And it kind of, just to add to what we were saying, it's like, how dare we like judge people on how they look? We're not all attracted to the same thing. So why are we wanting people to look the same standard? Look the same way according to the same standard, I would say. It kind of leads me to think like, so what if you had to think of what your healthiest time of your life, what did your body look like? So what did your body look like when you felt the most healthiest Jasmine in your 25 young years, right?
Yes. Honestly, probably within the last 2 years, people who know me and know my soul, I feel the best, the healthiest.
Wow.
I feel good when I am wearing a matching sweatsuit.
This girl.
And you can advocate for that.
I know.
I, previously a runner. I love running. I love how I feel when I'm running. But I've made a detachment of what that physically looks like to more of how it mentally impacts me. And I think that is how I've been able to have a different relationship with my body, of realizing like, how does my mentals feel after, I enjoy working out. That's something that I like doing. And so I feel good, but I love and feel like my best when I'm in something comfy and cozy, and it just so happens to be a matching sweatsuit.
I love it. So then what, like if we're talking about physical, like what did you look like? You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like your physical, because you're right, mental plays a huge part. And if the world were perfect, we would all mentally be in a place of satisfaction, whatever we look like.
Yeah.
But like the real deal is that's not what society is telling us to do. That's not what the magazine cover says. That's not what TV is telling us. That's not what the push of plastic surgery is saying. That's not what the push of, eating disorders is, you know what I mean? So like in this like horrible but realistic world, it's like, what do you feel? Did your physical, what you looked like, match what you thought was like the best body?
No.
Wow.
Not at all. I have had the six pack.
Yeah.
I've had the strong arms. I've had the strong legs. And that was not my healthiest self whatsoever.
Wow.
If anything, in complete transparency and honesty, I felt at my worst when I looked like that. I felt my worst when the world said I looked like my best.
Ooh, wow.
And so within these last couple of years, I've had to, I call it coming into womanhood for myself, of like, detaching from what it looks like to have an athlete's body to like, a woman's body or whatever, you define that for yourself. But making that transition, I really had to battle with, I thought that was my healthiest self. I was in peak shape. I was competing. I had the six pack. I had the arms. I had the legs. I had the booty. Because let's be real, that's what us women want. Like we want. Trust me, I got a flat chest, so I don't got that. But like, I'm just saying, like, to be so
You're not
real
wrong.
here.
We want the back. Baby got back.
Right.
We want it.
We want those things. But it's like when I had it, I didn't feel good about myself.
Wow. Because
I had this constant, like, thing in the back of my head saying, keep it up. You have to keep it up. You have to keep up that image. Because if you don't, if you slip up, you're not going to look great anymore. People aren't going to respond to you in a certain way or whatever. And I was like, after, bump that. I'm not doing that anymore. How about for you? What did your healthiest self feel like?
Oh, man, my healthiest self, honestly, like, I had 2 kids in 2 years, and like I can honestly say after both kids, like the first kid, it was like literally only a few months of like not having a kid in my body. But like I felt so good after both. I was very active during both of my pregnancies. We lived in Hawaii, and when I tell you I was like climbing Cocoa Head once a week, and drinking a lot of water. I think I ran or participated in every like race and mud run that came to Oahu. Like I loved it. I'm a very active person, but I think that my healthiest self came after, like during and after pregnancy, because somebody depended on me. Like there was a body attached to my body, right? And, you know, with nursing or just like wanting to be attentive to yourself because sleep deprivation is real. You know, new mom life where like you don't know when to nap and like you just hate the world, right? That's real. So I found myself like, I felt the best after those times. And I even remember like I was climbing up Cocoa Head. I had Gloria on an Ergo baby on my back, and I was like big and pregnant with Easy.
Wild.
And somebody looked at me like I was crazy, but I was like, I feel great. And they're like, get this woman. You know what I mean? But it just was, that's just, it's because somebody was depending on me. It's because I knew this is like, I have to be my best self. And yeah, I mean, any mom will tell you right after you have that baby, your stomach feels like Jell-O. Right? You don't look the best. You might still feel like jiggly, but I'm talking about just the idea of feeling great. I didn't look the most tight or fit, but I felt great.
Wow.
And that was huge for me. That was really big for me.
That's beautiful. You are a superwoman. Moms, no, I'm gonna make it even bigger. Moms are superwomen. I am not a mom, and all the moms out there,
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're talking about working out, exercising as you're pregnant. Amazing. And I want to ask the question of, what does the difference, or is there a difference between body shaming or advertising good health? What do those distinctions look like?
Yikes. Well, I guess it's like first realizing that there is a difference, because I think sometimes we can unintentionally, whether we're like being spiteful or unintentional, whether we're being either way, sometimes we can insult someone, but call it concern, right? You know, I think that we've all experienced that person that's like, don't you think you've had enough food, right? And they could very well in their mind think that they are just like not wanting to, you know, for you to have a bad relationship with food, or wanting you to watch what you eat, or they could in the back of their mind think, hey, we have like, you know, diseases in our family and I don't want you to contribute to that. We don't know. But the thing is, it comes out wrong. Yeah. And so that then like I'm receiving that as body shaming. Like, first of all, I had a good workout. Okay. Don't tell me what to eat.
Let me replenish my calories.
Let me replenish my calories. But you know what I mean? So, so the point is like, it can look different whether we mean it or not. But the big difference, like I would say, is like your intentions and how you are communicating those intentions. I could say the same thing or mean the same thing, but say it differently. Yeah. There's a difference in saying like, hey, Jasmine, like I haven't seen you, you know, drink any water all day, or you must be dehydrated, or you might not, you know, what does it look like for you to be dehydrated? Do you know what those signals look like in your body? And you could very well be like, mind your business, but you could also say, okay, but at least she's asking in a way that she wants me to know, you know, instead of you need to do this or you need to do that. Like I said kind of earlier, like that passive judgment of that style doesn't look right on you. What do you really want to say? Right. So it I guess it just, it's all about intention and like being careful with your words, man. Yeah. Like don't lie and say you just care about my health when you really are just judging, you know, how I look or what my body looks like according to what you want for it. You know? What do you think?
It is tricky. You know, when I think about this, I often think about if you are in a position where you feel like you have the authority to say something, do you question if you actually have authority or not in that space? Like, am I actually the person to be able to speak on this? Or, you know, you spoke about intention. Like, am I actually intentionally speaking on this or am I not? Right. But I would say so much of it comes down to the nature of relationship. But in that same stance, just because you are in close proximity to me and we're family members does not mean that you still have the authority to speak to me and say certain things to me.
Right.
And I think that too often we get comfortable and like, I've just known you for so long, so we can just, you know, I can make these jokes and it can be whatever, but you don't actually care.
Right.
And that sucks.
Right.
And that hurts, and it does more damage than good. And so I often think about what's the genuine nature of a relationship with somebody, like because there are people in my life that I do have genuine concern for, but it's the concern for their life is much deeper than just their body. I'm asking them about their mental health. I'm asking them about how school is going for them, or how's their job, or like I've shown concern of more areas in their life than just with their body.
Right. You know, you talk about like that authority or like that place in the relationship, and I kind of want to like challenge you on this. And so I'll bring up a celebrity just because we all know celebrities, right?
Right.
So did you see this segment? It was I don't even know the channel. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a TV personality, a woman. She was on some kind of like Good Morning America news show. I don't know. But the topic was Lizzo. Everybody should know who Lizzo is. I'm going to say one thing. I want confidence. That woman I admire her confidence.
Yes.
And it isn't even about her size. It's the fact that she don't care what you think about her size.
Absolutely.
Ma'am. Okay. I'll take a slice of that. But so the woman said, the topic was Lizzo, and I guess the woman made a comment about Lizzo and kind of said something to the effect of, okay, let's not promote, you know, her unhealthiness. And I feel like that didn't need to be associated with it. We don't know her health. We don't know if she has any type of disease. Like, we don't know. We're not her doctors. So the idea that in complimenting her confidence, you had to bring up her health, I wonder, what were your intentions, right? And then later, I think she kind of came back and was like, I probably should have said that differently, because I just didn't want to promote bad health. Or it was kind of like that. And that to me spoke, because if we're not careful on how we say those things, now you're on a platform, you're responsible for how you speak on anybody.
Yeah.
But now, you know, you don't know Lizzo, like you know what I mean? You don't know her. So you don't know if she's at her healthiest self, or if she's struggling with something, or if she is trying to lose weight, or if she's like, I'm at the best weight I've ever been. So your intentions may have been like, she, you know, kind of came back and said they might have been good, but where did we get where like we can judge somebody and then like try to like say that we're trying to help them, right? Like, that's like a backhanded compliment. Like, you're not helping me, you know?
You just have Twitter fingers.
Right, you do. But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. And my thought on that was, I think that we live in an age where we can hide behind a lot of things. We can hide behind a screen. We can hide behind miles away from people, or, you know, however, I feel like we hide a proximity. Yeah. Of whatever that looks like. And so I think it's okay? Absolutely not. I would tell her, mind your business. Because honestly, Lizzo, she was just doing her thing, being confident. If anything, I would have interpreted that, me personally, as she's promoting confidence. Yeah. Because we took from that, I want Lizzo's confidence. Yeah. Like, I tell you, there's a girl where I live who roller skates, and I want to be her friend so bad, y'all. But like, she be out there in her bikini getting her groove roll bounce on. And I look at her and I'm like, I want that confidence. I want that so bad. Right. But I don't necessarily feel the need to vocalize it to her. I don't know her. I don't know what her intentions are of just roll bouncing out there in her bikini like that. But do you, sis? That's got nothing to do with me.
Exactly. Yeah. And it also, I kind of want to stay here for a minute, because I feel like it can get out of hand. Like, we kind of feed into what the media says about standards, and like, okay, like, let's be honest, right? So body shaming isn't just the media's fault. Yeah. It's ours. it's everybody's fault. You know, once upon a time, you may have been able to say like, you know, this is what men are attracted to. And so this is what the media thinks everybody should look like. But guess what? Like, if we keep agreeing or like subscribing to it or wanting to do what they want from us, it's our fault too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I like to think of these magazines that put out these like nice thin women. I'll never look like that, ma'am. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never look like that, but they all look the same, right? Yeah. And if I now am going to the gym wanting to look like her, I'm going to continue to be disappointed. Mm-hmm. I'm going to continue to be like let myself down. Right. And, now, you know, what are we're talking about? Like hot girl summer, right?
Yeah. So we have been talking about hot girl summer.
We have.
Yes,
like,
you and I.
Listen, and here's what I'm going to say. Y'all gonna get whatever this hot mom summer over here has to offer. It could very well be Lululemon spandex, or it could be a Target bikini. What yes, you gonna do though is you gonna respect the snacks I bring to the beach with my little roommates. You're gonna get whatever I have to offer.
Yes.
Because I think that where I've lost myself, and truth be told, I haven't worn a bathing suit in 15 years.
Wow.
Literally. No, I lied. I wore it once when I was like pregnant because it was hot in Hawaii.
But the confidence in that though too.
Right. But the point is like I have let body shaming like get to me for so long that I was like willing to like be uncomfortable in certain places, right? Meanwhile, I see women that are differently shaped than me and I'm like, can I have a little bit of your confidence? Like, what am I tripping on?
Yeah.
So I say that to say like, I'm in a place now where I can't afford to be that way anymore. I have a 6-year-old daughter who try to tell her not to walk out in a tutu. She doesn't care if it's raining. She doesn't care if it's 16 degrees. She doesn't care if it's 100 degrees. You're going to get this tutu. You're going to get a dress, probably some Crocs.
Right.
You're going to get what she has to offer. And she doesn't care. And I don't want to continue in this like insecurity, hand it to her or hand it to my son where he feels like his mom is ashamed of something. So
yeah,
you're gonna get whatever I have to offer this summer.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. There's so much power in walking in confidence within yourself, right? And you read in so many articles or blogs and whatnot of like, as a parent, you have to model these things like for your kids and all of these things. But like where I'm at in my life, I don't have anybody to model or have somebody like following after me. So I think.
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
But your 2 tiny roommates are like 2 of my tiny best friends.
Yeah.
And so it's
they're watching you.
And they are. Like, you know, I've shared in an earlier episode of like Gloria asking me about my feelings. She's paying attention to me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so with like the age that I'm at and just like being in my mid-20s, like, and for women in their mid-20s, like there's somebody that is paying attention and there's somebody that is watching and, you know, the good stuff and the bad stuff. And so I know that in my life, like I've had to really check myself and be like, almost like put this hat on of like, if Gloria was standing right beside me, like she wouldn't like me saying that.
Right.
She wouldn't like if I thought, you know, whatever about like both of them, we want to talk about affirmation. Yes. Your kids either will want to tell you about yourself of like, that was weird. Like, why are you doing that? And you're like, this is embarrassing. You're 6. But also like, there's never been a moment where I walked into your house that both of your kids like, you're so beautiful. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Thank you.
My son makes me Marco Polo Jasmine. Because he'll like wake up in the middle of the night and he goes, I just miss Jasmine is all. First of all, go to bed. It's after hours and I'm off duty.
Time to sleep.
Second of all, make it quick. Okay. But that you're right. You know, there are people in your life that want more for you than you want yourself.
Yeah.
And even for those that feel like they don't have that, you know, you owe it to yourself.
Right.
You owe it to yourself. Man, that's so good. Man, like I got off track like doing this.
No, that's good. That was good.
But it kind of leads me to my next, like, how do you body shame yourself? Like, let's not act like we just do it to other people. Like, we are our worst, what is it? We're our worst critic.
Yeah.
Or we're our worst enemy. I think, it's
man, I have a really hard time with this. I will be really honest. Being a track runner for so many years, I had my identity rooted in my body, what it could physically produce, how fast it could run, how much I could, do these different things. And so I would go to extremes with my body, and I would still like look in my mirror and be so dissatisfied. I had mentioned earlier, I wasn't what the world thought my best shape looked like, but yet I looked in the mirror and I hated myself.
Oh my goodness.
So much. Like, I would find all of the things to nitpick about myself, whatnot, and did it with my skin, or like, even as dumb as it is, when I take pictures and people are like, laughing at a picture, I'm like, absolutely not, because I got a double chin here. Like, don't ask me to get my angles right. Like, don't do that. Which is dumb, but I've grown to embrace that, which is right. Like, I didn't ask for this. Leave me alone. But, I now have had to navigate what a different relationship with my body looks like. I have a lot of mirrors in my home, and something that I'm really intentional about is I look at myself in the mirror every single day. Like in spandex and sports bra, like I have a moment to actually sit and look at myself.
Wow.
And like have that moment. I read something once that was like, would you prefer to look at yourself in a mirror or look at yourself in a picture? Why or why not? Ugh. And I was like, I hate this question. I hate it here.
Next question.
I hate it here.
Pass.
Right. But like that question really made me like, ooh, so we don't like ourselves, but like, let's be really intentional about like looking at ourselves. And so for me, like that grew to be better about affirming myself, because all I did was year after year after year pick myself apart because I was no longer an athlete anymore, or I felt like I didn't have a woman's body because I'm just like this awkward skinny girl. And so like I wanted what society wanted, or what I so thought society wanted, or even as women, we put our identity in like what men think about our bodies. So I'm like, how do I make my body look like that so he would be more attracted to me? Like, I'm in my mid-20s and I'm still trying to catch. I'm single. Like, I'm still trying to find a man.
You sound like grandma.
Like, I'm just saying. And so it's like those things constantly go through my mind, and I'm trying to, because I still do it. I don't want to act like I have this all figured out, because I absolutely don't. Like, there still are moments where I absolutely pick myself apart. I'm like, let's not look at this arm, But yeah, for me, it's just like, what are you picking yourself apart for? Because all the negative things that you have to say, what is that contributing to your life?
Wow. And you know what, though? Like, you really just... And I know I laughed. She sounds like my grandmommy when she says she's trying to catch. But you just said something. It's like, you're doing this for someone else. You don't even know who that someone else is.
No idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you're willing to tear yourself apart for someone that doesn't even essentially exist yet.
Yeah.
That's what we do. What? Why?
Often,
why, ma'am?
Like, why are we seeking validation and affirmation
from this fictitious character?
Right. From the hopeful guy, the hopeful person that's gonna like, okay, so I know that'll be the person for me when they affirm me this way. You don't know them.
You have no, you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah. But we do that, and we do that so often.
We do.
But what does that look like for you?
Okay, that's a lot of things, because, so I started doing this thing in 2020 because I found, I used to be really self-conscious about pictures. Like, you made the comment about pictures and mirrors, right? And I noticed I wasn't the only one. I would see people say like, oh man, take another picture. And then one day I was like, what am I tripping about? It's me in the picture. It's undeniable. If I die today, not to be morbid, but like if I die today, y'all gonna use this picture to look for it's the most recent of me. So let's not act like it doesn't look like me. It might not be the most flattering of me.
Yeah.
But it's me. So what I had to do to myself is like whenever a picture would be taken or something, I had to stop second guessing what it would look like. And my husband even mentioned it to me because like one day he took a picture and he was like, "Are you fine with that?" And I said, "I don't even want to look at it. It's fine." Wow. And he was like, "What?" And I was like, my thing is, if there's an issue with it, I need to better me. The camera is going to do whatever the camera wants to do.
Yeah.
I know how I look. You know how I look. As long as I'm happy with that, I'm not going to get mad on how the camera unless I'm taking a funny house picture. You know what I mean? Or some kind of weird filter. But it's the idea that I can't get mad at the camera for doing what the camera is supposed to do. If I'm so upset about the way it looks, do something about me. And if I'm not going to do that, stop tripping about taking 100 pictures. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Right? And so I had to be intentional about that. When it comes to body shaming myself, that, you know, and you'll ask any new mom or even any mom after having kids, it's like your body changes every time. And it's so hard because you want to bounce back, right? You want to look the way you did before kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like before my kids, like I actually found out I was pregnant while I was playing a championship football game. Like I was literally I'm like running full speed, tackled, all kind of like hands on, flipping around, getting thrown around. And I was in really good shape. Never did I see those abs again, right? Those abs are gone.
Savage. She said, long gone, bye.
So, but like, I remember like, you know, there were times I would look at myself and be like, man, like I'm living in, you know, pre-baby Shon image. Stop. Like I'm letting my old self judge my new self. Whereas my new self gave 2 small humans to the world. Yeah. Okay. Y'all can have these abs. Right. I mean, I'm gonna be all right. You know what I mean? But I did that and I had to like bring recognition to like, your body has done some amazing things. Your body has contributed some amazing things. So why are you beating yourself up about what your body had to do that? Yeah. And like taking motherhood out of it, like, because that's just not every woman's calling, and I respect it and I love it. Women have hormones to have to consider when it comes to eating a certain way, sleeping, working out. There's so much that contributes to what we want in the quote unquote perfect body. So when you really think about what a woman has to say to herself in the mirror, like she's not just saying like, oh, I should probably just cut out bread and I'm going to have the perfect body. No, ma'am. Okay. When is your cycle here? Did the bloating come? Did you weigh after or before bloating? Right. Did you eat the chocolate? You don't want the chocolate? Like, are you, like there's so much that goes into it. So I feel like my struggle, and not to go on a tangent because I think I've already gone, but it was having to consider, A, you're a woman with all kind of stuff going on in your body. You can't help that. B, you had some humans. They jacked some stuff up and they left. Inconsiderate little leeches. But I love them, right? Yeah. So considering all that, stop tearing yourself apart. You know what I mean? Like, do what you can and move on. Yeah. No, that's so good. Because our bodies are made to take care of us. Like, why do we forget that? I don't know.
You know what I mean?
That's like, a legitimate like question.
Right. Like, why do we forget that? Because like, you know, you're speaking of like motherhood, but like your body got you through that depression. Your body got you through that injury. Your body got you through, you know, whatever that thing that you may have got through. So like, let's celebrate that. Like, let's celebrate that you no longer are back to where you used to be. Like your body has prepared you for where you're supposed to be now. And if you want different out of that, keep moving forward. Right. Because your body can take you differently that direction too. Right. I have a final question for us. Our podcast is called Showing Up For You. You and I show up for each other. And in regards to this topic, I want to hear from you of how do we stand up for our friends or people in our lives who are body shaming themselves?
Ooh, that's a good one. Because it's like the accountability is real in this one. I feel like the best way is to be like realistic but defensive enough. Like I have a friend that that I feel goes harder for me than I do sometimes. She is, she's the bomb, but like I'll talk to her. Her name is Ashley, and I'll say something and I'll talk about myself. Like I'll be like, ugh, I look huge. I'm just,
Yeah.
And she will go, hey, don't talk about my friend like that. And I'm like, what?
That's a
and
good
she
friend.
will say, don't talk about my friend like that. And I'm like, oh, wow, you're going harder for me than I am myself. And the way I see that is she's willing to defend me against me.
Wow.
And I had to be like, whoa, okay. Right. So I have that. I'm grateful to have that accountability in my life when I start to tear myself apart. When it comes to me, the way I show up and respond in that is if you came to me and was like, hey, like, I don't like the way this looks, or I'm insecure about this thing in my body, I'd want to know why. Like, who made you feel that way? Or what resources are you like subscribing to that make you feel that there's another way? Right. And if in fact you are looking at that, like, stop. That's not the end all be all. And if all else fails and you're like, I've looked at every resource in the world and I've seen everybody, I'm insecure about my kneecaps and I've looked at every kneecap there is to see. Right. And my response then is, okay, what you gonna do about your kneecaps then? And how can I be present and show up for you and hold you accountable for bettering your kneecaps? I don't know what kind of squats you got to do for that,
right.
But what you want to do, sis? And that's how it has to go. I'm not for like babying or making or even like invalidating your feelings. All right, if you feel that way, what can we do? You want me to go walking with you? Do you want me to, what can I do? That's really how I would imagine showing up and being present for somebody with insecurities that I don't think they should have.
Yeah, that's good.
How about you?
That's really good. My approach is entirely different. I am much softer. But I'm glad I have you to be on the other end. We're going to keep it a buck. I am a big, I do validate people's feelings. I think that's my first step approach, but more of your feelings are valid, but your feelings aren't fact. I think that is kind of something that I remind people in my lives of like, yeah, like, you could feel that way, but like that's not
it might
who
not
you
be
are.
true, right?
Yeah, and so that's probably like the first step approach that I would take to it. But then something that I have to constantly remind myself is so often, and I will say for myself, and I'll make a generalization as well, we try to relate to people first. They'll say something or they'll share something with us, and then we'll bring in like our thought with it. And like with body shaming, absolutely not. That is not okay.
Wow.
If your friend or a person in your life who's confiding in you and is sharing their insecurities with you, it is not an open opportunity for you to share your insecurities with them. Because they are trusting you. They're entering a vulnerable space with you.
Wow.
So that's something that just I'm very cognizant of keeping that at the forefront of my mind. I'm also somebody who tries to affirm people in a way of like, happiness looks really good on you right now. Joy looks really good on you right now.
Wow.
Complimenting things outside of their physical appearance, because I believe that if your insides are good, your internal things feel good, then looking at your external, insecurities that might lower themselves. And so that's what I would say my approach to that looks like. Because
then they're less concerned about the standards or the opinions, like you said. Like if I feel better about myself, I'm less concerned about what you feel about me. Right?
Yeah.
Man, that's good right there. We obviously, guys, we feel so strongly about body shaming, and we've all gone through it in different phases and different places in our lives. I'm sure everyone has experienced some sort, because the cool thing and the uncool thing is that we all are different and we all want different things.
Yeah.
Sadly, that means that you've been judged by somebody who thinks you should look different. And guess what? It's not nice. But then that's the beauty of us all being attracted to different things. Body shaming has been going on since before we were even existed, right? So like, this isn't new. Yeah. No matter how it started or where it comes from, I think the best thing to do is to be aware of what it looks like and challenge that person. Hey, why did you have to say that? Yeah. Why did you feel that was relevant? And was that coming from a good place? Do you have insecurities about yourself that you're now placing on me? What does that look like? So I challenge you guys to have those conversations. We talked about even starting this podcast that our goal is to trigger these uncomfortable conversations. Mm-hmm. The reality is, though, body shaming is not going to stop. But we can change it by not subscribing to it. And I think that's what's most harmful, is whether we believe in it or not, whether we believe in these standards of wanting to be skinny or voluptuous, or I could be saying that wrong, whether we want to be whatever the media says we should be. Mm-hmm. We subscribe to it differently. Our subscription to it could be the insecurities that we place on ourselves because we can't look like that. Yeah. Or that's not what every man in Hollywood is attracted to. Therefore, I must not look attractive. So there's different ways to subscribe to it. And be aware of what that looks like for you. Like, challenge your own thoughts. Why do I want that? Why do I feel like I need to be that way? Yeah. Why am I unhappy with how I look right now? Why do I want my clothes to fit differently? Why do I ask yourself those things?
How's this going to add value to my life?
How is this going to add value to my life? So we want to challenge those. We also want to hear from you guys, whether it's a DM, whether it's on our Facebook page, whether it's an email, or whether it's leaving a comment under our post. We want to know, because obviously this is such a huge topic that we did not cover everything. And like I said, we want to challenge that awareness. Love who you are, and look, somebody gonna love it.
True.
Listen, somebody gonna love it. Mm-hmm. If they didn't, we would all be some single people out here.
True. Shout out to my singles trying to catch.
Listen. This was not what this. Here she go, taking this somewhere. Just kidding. The point is, it's a blessing that we all are attracted to something different. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our rant, our opinions, and just the way we just communicate to each other about topics that obviously intrigue and challenge us. We can't wait to see you guys or hear from you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to Showing Up For You. See you later.
See you soon.